Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, as I rise to make my contribution, heartfelt gratitude to the personnel who worked tirelessly to complete the document of this noble House. Mr. Speaker, Budget 2023 was delivered to this nation on January 16th under the theme, Improving Lives Today, Building Prosperity for Tomorrow, albeit an oxymoron. I wonder what must have been the thoughts of right-thinking Guyanese, including you, Mr. Speaker, and all the before its presentation, in excess of 50 Guyanese were made homeless. Further, Mr. about improving lives of people today, and of course, Mr. Speaker, as if that was not enough, Ms. Ellis was dismissed from her place of employment, making her both homeless and jobless. A 2-year-old child is affected. Sir, unconscionable, one Guyana mantra. When we continue to see the marginalization of, let us ask Jesus Christ, who was Judas? Were not treated as refugees. They were given $80 million, and of course, I warned the famous civil rights activist Martin Luther King Jr., but it bends towards justice. Beware, the coalition will be back, and Guyanese will once again be treated with dignity and respect. This budget is Guyana, with a total of 700. The threshold is now $85,000, $10,000 to cushion the high cost of living. Prices increase. I say visionless. I say paradox of plenty. Mr. Speaker, Region Number 4 budget was hijacked in 2022 by the dictatorial Dharam Lal, the honorable member. Though elected officials tried feverishly to make their continuously see the marginalization of specific communities, Mr. Speaker. Sir, here we have what Nabaklis Road looks like, and I can make them available to you. I have quite a lot here that you can see. Sir, I want to tell you, I want to tell you, sir, a backless middle walk. Yes, the same road. Talk with the farmer. Over 6,000 residents. Only the dictator of road in Coven John that how make use of that road. The fact of the matter is, Mr. Speaker, none of the road in the backlist is worthy. Even the bridges, Mr. Speaker, are very deplorable. And like I said before, I have them all here. 84 years old Gladys Smith took in one evening and had to. Am I to understand this is the land of the forgotten? I guess not. to this community so the residents can breathe fresh. She fell ill and the taxi could not get to the area because of the state of the road. The ambulance did not get there on time, and these are just a few. I gave you some highlight. This is one of Victoria East sideline. Mr. Speaker, I have here Pleasance. I can leave it with you again. Mr. Speaker, here, Mr. Speaker, is the condition of some of the roads in Buxton. And you know what, Mr. Speaker? Haslington Block 20 Housing Scheme Network, as all of the roads are in deplorable state. I refer to them as Pacific Ocean and Mediterranean Sea. Mr. Speaker, I remember when I want to talk about the Honorable to give them bridges and roads. It has been 9 months thereafter, and nothing they have received. As a matter of fact, Mr. Speaker, on the 5th of September this year, 5th of September last year, Beirut was plagued with a freak storm. I have something here to show you what was left of the home of Mr. Speaker. I wept for a young couple. The mother is pregnant and has two school-age children. This is, of course, the home were destroyed. All was left is just the floor. Mr. Speaker, I challenge the men on mission to reach out and touch. But, Mr. Speaker, you know what? I can make comparison as I move other communities. Those communities I speak of, Mr. Speaker, are communities like Lucy Enterprise, just to name a few. Of these communities are enhanced. These contracts are given to friends, favorites, and family of the PPPC cabal. The Honorable Minister is proud of his legacy, green and red villages. Of course, the word shame is unparliamentary, so I will not use that. Mr. Speaker, I must commend the coalition government for the sterling work they have started in preparing. This present regime continue and want to behave like Jesus Christ superstar. When that community was developed, Mr. Speaker, in 2022, $320,000 was requested. A paltry sum of $18,230,000 was received. This year, $36 million was requested again. Only 26.2 was allocated. How can the office function effectively? How, Honorable Dharamlal? You have a respect. I see the color of your heart, which that heart knows only. Speak to you, honorable member, and that the Gaffurs has it in stock so you can purchase. Sir, is the council's budget, and when it is treated this way, the constituencies suffer. All Guyanese must be comfortable. Electoral practice will cease. While there were budget discussions, sir, this year, we still see the shameless act based on what was
You know, I'm very disappointed after you reminded yourself skillfully navigating that.
I'm guided, sir. May I move on? Withdraw with your guidance, sir. Checks were presented, but only $1.9 billion budget. Guyana. Sir, while I contribution, I must admit that some parts were riddled with inaccuracy. $72.8 billion was received towards world-class. So they say, completed then, but it is years later. I recall in 20 there is building defects, but yet here and now, the same honorable to that, Mr. Chairman, the honorable member mentioned that no school under the APNU. May I remind the honorable member, Mr. Speaker, that as I stand here, institution as an early childhood educator, that institution was built under the APNU, Mr. Speaker, constructed under APNU. I say, Mr. Speaker, Eastville Secondary School was constructed, Good Hope Nursery School was constructed, and of course, I can recall Christianburg Primary School was under construction. The minister to correct that anomaly. Mr. Speaker, I want to ask, is this how Honorable Manichan for the Honorable Manichan, monies are allocated to procure goods and services and ensure that all institutions, Mr. Speaker, that schools are starved, coupled with flooding and infrastructural deficiencies, not limited to electrical, plumbing, and other statics. In 2023, Mr. Speaker, a whopping $94.4 billion has been allocated to education. I trust that the deficiencies mentioned above are catered for. Mr. Speaker, I further want to remember what was said by the Honorable Priya Manichan. How much monies are spent to ensure that SEN education is adequately catered for, but yet too many SEN learners to and from school was denied. Again, minibuses requested to ensure that our learners on the highway get to and from school. Again, that was denied. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, I am proud of the legacy of the coalition. We said it and we proved it. Bus, boats, bicycles, and breakfast. School attendance and school performance improved as a result of initiatives such as the public education and transportation system, which was aimed at combating high truancy and dropout rates by providing same. Mr. Speaker, there should be support for us at-risk students, programs that provide Targeted support for at-risk students, such as those living in poverty or experiencing behavioral or emotional difficulties, can help to keep these students in school. Mr. Speaker, as I speak, I saw a breakaway at one of our premier secondary school.
Let's take a breakaway now and ask for a suspension. Sorry, an extension for you to conclude.
Suspension. Thank you, Current Speaker. Current Speaker, I beg that the honourable member be given 5 minutes to conclude her presentation.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Whip. Honorable Member, you may continue to conclude in 5 minutes.
Sir, these should include counseling, academic support, and extracurricular activities. Sir, I know that the ministry would have introduced the guidance and counseling in secondary schools, but it is woefully inadequate. Sir, we were deliberate in developing our human resources with the construction of technical and vocational education and training hubs at Bina Hill, Madia, Letem, and Mabura to bridge the gap between interland and coastland while enhancing interland access to post-secondary education. Sir, the poor and vulnerable will not benefit from this budget in its current form. Nothing suggests that the village economy will begin to grow and people's lives will be impacted. As I conclude, Mr. Speaker, I remind us of the words of reggae legend Buju Banton's song, Untold Stories. I am living while I'm living, to the Father I will pray. Only Him know how we get through every day. With all the hikes in the price, arm and leg we have to pay, while our leaders play. Who can afford to run will run, but what about those who can't? They will have to stay. I say to my Guyanese, hold the strain, hold the strain, change will come. As a result, Mr. Speaker, as a result of this, sir, I cannot support this budget in this form.